The Audio Drama Initiative presents Closing the Distance.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Maxwell, the author of Social Distancing, the story about to be performed by the remarkable William Hurt. As our series is about connection, there is a certain irony in the fact that Mr. Hurt and I attended college together many years ago, or perhaps that was a sign. Bill is a father, as am I. All of us in that fraternity are aware that the job comes with so many joys that are often marred at times by fractious situations as our children grow up and leave our home to find their own way. The upheaval we all are all facing these days inspired me to think about my journey as a father. Triumph, unconditional love, abject terror, all three thoughts that leapt to mind. Bringing up a daughter conjures up those emotions. Pride also came to mind, as sometimes being right is the wrong thing to be. This pandemic has wreaked havoc on all of us, yet while in isolation, I looked deep into my heart, and it offered me an insight I was too busy and too consumed by pride to have noticed. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. William Hurt.
I'm divorced. In fact, not once. But I followed the first debacle with two more I do's. Which makes me a romantic fool. Or just a fool. I believe the latter applies. Divorce is tantamount to whiplash or root canal. All the promises made between your soon-to-be ex to be kind through the proceedings turn to mist and disappear like a magic trick performed by a hack lounge performer in Vegas or a punch in the face from Mike Tyson. It's as if your life has been bombed and what is left of it is an open wound, one that will never heal. Following my second and most contentious split, I formed a men's support group and heard the endless heartbreak from guys who had moved on from their wives, but not from their children. Many confessed or realized that they were never a dad when married, but now that they only saw their kids on a schedule, it turned into good fathers. Being a dad was their true and heartfelt mission. I have two children. My son is married. And I just recently became a grandpa. I wasn't there with him to smoke a cigar or drink a bottle of red in honor of his daughter. I was thousands of miles away, and he and his wife and baby were immediately quarantined just hours after little Marigold burst onto the scene, brightening the clouds that cloak us in darkness these days. I was thrilled, yet cried through the night that she arrived. I wanted to hug my boy, my son, a new dad who held the magic of bringing up his treasured daughter. He had truly become a man. Goldie, the nickname instantly bestowed on my granddaughter, would never know the chaotic world she was born into. This virus will pass and become anecdote the way my parents spoke of the Depression. The pain of it all faded. Goldie was light on a moonless sky, absent of a single star. The circle of life, huh? The mantra of the divorced is, if I hadn't been married, I wouldn't have had my kids. And for those fathers who feel such, in their heart and deep in their soul, It is their solace, the salve to a broken, shattered heart. I had that through my son for the past 36 years. I also thought I had the thread to mend my heart with my daughter. From my second into matrimony, she was my princess. From the moment I held her, she had me. I guess she had me at hello. And she gave me purpose far more important than work or the pursuit of the next girlfriend to woo and vacuous journeys into nakedness. With my little girl, I often felt that I was blessed, despite the trauma of the split from her mother. We are told today to practice social distancing. To my shock and dismay, and even greater heartbreak than I could ever comprehend, my daughter abandoned our relationship for reasons never explained nor ones I ever saw on the horizon. She chose social distancing from me before the phrase was part of our lexicon. We had been a duo. We did everything together. We traveled, we shopped, we laughed, and it never seemed to have an end in sight. Then 5 years ago, I dropped her at her mom's as per court instructions and kissed her goodbye, saying the usual, "Enjoy the weekend, I love you, sweetheart." And then it was over. I received a text from her that Monday asking if we could skip our plans the next day as she wanted to study for finals. Then, a couple of days later, another such message asking if we could hold off on our schedule until school was over in 2 weeks. Confused yet supportive, I acquiesced, and other than a short text some weeks afterward explaining that, quote, we were different personalities, end quote. And despite the fact that she knew I loved her and was a good father, she didn't think we should see each other anymore. And now what has been more than 5 years, we haven't. I thought it would pass, yet it remains. We are over. We are over. My shrink instructed me to stop trying to figure it out. Get on with my life, which I had abandoned. He suggested I pretend, believe that she had passed away so I could mourn the loss rather than let it destroy me. My depression was cavernous. I couldn't work. I saw very few people. I drove my car into the river only to survive, which led to further torment. And then the pandemic and social distancing. Ironic that I was practiced at it. My daughter had taught me well. Then, just a few days ago, as I was becoming claustrophobic, like so many of us, I received a text from a number I didn't know. I was about to delete it when I realized it was from my daughter. My heart beat through my chest, and the past 5 years raced through my mind. Resentment, buried hurt, heartbreak, fury, anxiety beyond description. I read the short note. Dad, it is your daughter. I need to speak with you. Can you call me? Nothing else. 5 years. Can you call me? No freaking way. Unconditional love ended long ago. I had begun to heal a bit. No, never. What? Did she need money? Was she sick or in trouble? I didn't want to know. I had been hurt enough. I poured myself a drink, then another and another. Then I sat on my couch and looked at the pictures of her growing up beautifully, with bright eyes and what seemed an endless smile. But I had no recent photos. They, like my daughter, had gone out for a smoke and never came home. And I cried. I had always believed in grace. I am too flawed. I made too many errors in my life not to believe in forgiveness. And then I began to smile. It wasn't the drinks. It was irony. For 5 years I wanted to hear from my little girl. Social distancing, isolation, fear. Perhaps they'd led to connection. I breathed for the first time in years, and my heart smiled. Tonight I would sleep through the night. Tomorrow I would call my little girl and say, "Hi, sweetie, it's Dad."
Social Distancing was written by Mitchell Maxwell and performed by William Hurt. It was directed by Mitchell Maxwell and produced by Lou Aronica and Mitchell Maxwell. The sound design is by Josh Milliken, and Carl Verwerk was the general manager. The song The In-Between was written by Casey Brevis and Sam Shuey and was performed by Alex Blue, Casey Brevis, and Sam Shuey. You can get it wherever music is sold or streamed. For a complete list of credits, visit us at audiodramainitiative.com.
I never really liked the quiet. I'd always choose the music and the crowd. But now the only voice I hear is whispering, slow down.
The little things you never notice, the comfort in the closeness of a hand, and all the ways we lead each other safely back to land. To understand, oh, that something happens in the in-between. The distance shows I've never known the forest for the trees.
It's beautiful and strange as something changes in the in-between.